From beautiful Palm Springs, California at historic Palm Springs Stadium, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda here for Game 2 action of the California Winter League. Game 1 was a thriller, Andres. That was between the Chill and the Grizzly. The Grizzly would walk it off after Jesse Galindo gave a star-studded effort, the starter for the Chill, and we are underway here in Game 2. First pitch being thrown here to Spencer Kean, who digs in. The second baseman, he'll lead off, and he takes ball one. So we are underway. Here's a swing and a miss for strike one. Starter on the mound today for the A's is Kevin Lennock. Lennock not originally on the roster for the A's. He traveled in to come play today.
And Paul Nochi told me that he's looking to just get some work in. He is a former minor leaguer, currently a champion out of the American Association, winning with the Kansas City Monarchs, brand new team out there. Played in Single A and Double A and Triple A with the Omaha Storm Chasers, Portland Sea Dogs.
So the big righty, he is 6'5", 225 pounds, so obviously some big league frame in him. Count is 2 balls, 2 strikes to the lead man, Kean. Tall, large frame.
I'm looking at some of his notes. He quit baseball in high school, actually, and then joined JUCO, moved into Division II and Division III in college. He wasn't drafted, and he went on to play some time with Texas and Kansas City. He was actually here back in the Cal Winter League in 2016, where he got his first contract to sign with the Texas Rangers.
Fastball will range in the lower 90s. Here's a full count pitch, grounded to the left side. That'll be Chris O'Neill who picks it up. Fires the first for the first out here in the top of the first. So Lennock off to a decent start, getting Kean to ground out on the routine ground ball to third.
Great play there and great start for Lennock, and his first out of the Cal Winter League in 2022. I mentioned that he played with the Kansas City Monarchs, that team coming from the Negro Baseball League, bringing it back to life. And mentioned you're a Kansas City native yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Share a lot of history there.
Yeah, I'm all too familiar with that team. First pitch into Chris Baker is taken for a strike. Kansas City Monarchs, formerly known as the Kansas City T-Bones, had one of the coolest logos as the T-Bones, but now they are the Monarchs. There's a swing and a miss from Baker, obviously named after the famous Kansas City Monarchs from the Negro Leagues way back in the day, obviously famously known for Jackie Robinson. Absolutely. And Satchel Paige, Cool Papa Bell.
Yep.
And Buck O'Neill, who is a long-tenured scout for the Royals. He was also famous on that Monarch squad.
Isn't the Negro League Baseball History Museum out there, too?
Yes, it sure is. It's in downtown Kansas City. It's one of the coolest museums as far as baseball is concerned. A very small operation. So if you ever get the chance to go, it's a very hands-on type of museum, and the staff is very friendly. Obviously, they want everybody to have a great experience, and there's not a ton of foot traffic through there, so it's one of those types of things where when you're in there, you're pretty much always have the museum by yourself. Get to take as much time as possible, but it's a very well done museum. I highly recommend, if you're ever in the Midwest, if you're ever around the Kansas City area, it is a great place to be. And they're actually moving, I believe is it Jackie Robinson's plaque from the Hall of Fame?
I think so.
I'll have to double check on this. I know they're moving something historically from Jackie Robinson there to the museum, as this ball is lined into right field. Off the bat of Baker for the first hit of the ball game. Lumberjacks have a man aboard at first here with one out here, top of the first, early goings.
I was told, two of my roommates in college, they got family out in Kansas City, they told me that I have to go visit it. They also told me I have to go try some Kansas City barbecue. I hear it's phenomenal.
Oh, yes. It is amazing. A couple of my favorite places, Joe's, Kansas City, Arthur Bryant's.
Heard of that one. That name is very familiar.
Yep. This is going to be Christian Kuzemka, the designated hitter. He takes inside ball one. Obviously, so many of those players from the Negro Leagues times, unfortunately, just, with the way history goes, such a weird time frame, obviously, with a lot of those guys getting forgotten in the history of baseball. And that museum, they try to shine a light on all those guys, obviously, put their faces and names back out there in front of the public eye.
Well, Major League Baseball this past season, didn't they just make them all official MLB players as well? Anyone who played in the Negro Leagues?
Cannot confirm on that one, but I know they have done a tremendous effort to try and regain the history of the Negro Leagues, try to shine a light on them again. Obviously very incremental in the progression of the game of baseball, and we wouldn't be here today, obviously, without those guys that pioneered their way through those rough times.
Yeah, I'm looking at a story here. On December 6th, 2020, Major League Baseball officially designates the Negro Leagues as Major League. All those guys have been now counted as big leaguers. They've elevated it.
Batter again is Kuzemka. Goes after this pitch high and tight, and Kuzemka can't hang with the heat. Down on strikes, and there are two away here, top of the first.
You don't really see that from Kuzemka. He's definitely one of the top hitters here in the Cal Winter League.
Yeah, getting some big league feel from Lennock. Lennock has almost scarfed the surface as they pick off at first. He has just grazed the surface, getting almost up there to the show. He's been in AAA for a number of different years. 2017, he was with the Royals organization, 18 and 19, all in AAA Omaha, as he brings a pitch outside. And then he was picked up by the Red Sox after he was released by Kansas City in 2019. So he's got plenty of experience. He's been in pro ball now since the age of 23. He's now 29 years old. And the interesting thing, too, you look at his minor league stats, no games started, so a different feel for him today, getting the nod on the bump for the start. Here's a big swing and a miss. That looked like it might have been a slider. Nick Jimbalvo, the cleanup man for the Lumberjacks, swinging over the top of it. 1 ball and 1 strike, 2 outs here, top of the first. At first base, it's Chris Baker. He's singled. Here's a pitch. Bounce over to the second baseman. That is going to be Eddie Mccabe, who recently signed a pro contract, and he makes the routine play for the 3rd out. So that'll do it in the top half of the first. Lumberjacks get nothing doing. A good start so far off of Kevin Lennock. We'll see more of him as this game progresses along, and we'll go to the home half of the first here with no score. Pitch cluster alongside Andres Tejeda as we go to the bottom of the first. The Canada A's come to bat here. Canada A's are on a bit of a cold streak, to say the least, Andres.
Yeah, they are struggling 2-8. They come into the game today, and they get a big arm in Kevin Lennock, who started off the first inning for him and was real solid.
So as Andres mentioned, 2-8 record. The Lumberjacks an even 5-5. As the lead man will be Jack Allen, the lefty, here for the A's. He takes a strike, 1 ball, 1 strike on the hill. For the Lumberjacks, it's Roberto Baldenebro. Him and his counterpart Lennock will both work from the stretch with nobody on. Allen, the lefty, swinging over the top and fouling it just by a hair. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 hit in the top half of the first coming off the bat of Chris Baker. And me and Andres were talking a little bit about the Negro League's history there with the KC Monarchs, after talking about Kevin Lennock, who played for that Kansas City Monarchs team this past year.
In the American Association, not the Negro Leagues one.
Correct.
And any confusion there.
Pitch in the dirt, but just talking about how, some of those players pioneered the way. I've always thought, if there's, one guy that you could go back in time, obviously you would go back in time and see like Babe Ruth, and there are some of the guys in the Negro Leagues, though. Think about going to see Satchel Paige in his prime, as Allen is cut down on strike swinging for the first out. Think about going to see Satchel Paige in his prime, or Josh Gibson always sticks out as some people, he was quoted as being the Black Babe Ruth. I believe some people said that he hit as many as possibly 800 home runs in his career, or something absurd like that. Just hearing all those cool stories, as the batter will be Collier Rutledge, taking ball 1, just barely missing on a fastball. Some of those funny and cool stories, Cool Papa Bell, obviously one of the fastest guys quoted to ever play the game of baseball. The famous quote around him is, he could hop into bed by switching the lights off, and he would beat the lights actually turning off into his bed. I believe he was timed at some ridiculous time from home plate to home on an in-the-park home run. This pitch is in there for a strike. 2 balls and a strike to Rutledge.
Yeah, I can't help but think that, the Kansas City Monarchs, they started in the 1920s. You got the Kansas City Royals, definitely an homage with the name there.
Coming set is Baldenebro. 2-1 is lined over the head of the second baseman, Kean, into right field. It's a line drive single off the bat of Collier Rutledge to get the A's started here in the bottom of the first.
Great piece of hitting there from Rutledge, going with the pitch, hitting it in the opposite field. And both teams now with a hit, and we'll see if the A's can get some noise started here with their experienced starting pitcher. We'll see how long that he goes. I know, as I mentioned, Paul Noce said that he's here to get a couple innings. Came in, obviously coming off from the American Association, and just looking to get his arm loose before they go back in action.
Here comes the power-hitting Tavis Brunson. He's in the 3-hole slot as normal. Big bat in the lefty as he swings and misses here, and he does not get cheated at the plate. This guy will swing like he's trying to hit the ball a mile every single time.
He actually hit the ball over a mile in Friday's game against the Power when he hit that home run.
Yeah, that was a no-doubter. Hitting in a 1-strike count here. They'll check on the runner at first. We had a couple of balls leave the yard yesterday, 3 to be exact.
2 of them coming from one guy.
Yes, 2 coming from Jacob Cruz, who has emerged himself as probably the best power hitter in this league.
Yeah, those home runs came off his bat with a vengeance and just looked so effortless.
Yes.
With the swing.
Something about his left-handed swing. Me and I believe it was me and you on the call, and we were talking about how it kind of reminded us of a little bit of Justin Morneau. former Twin. Here's a 1-1 count to Tavis Brunson with a runner at first. Pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. Good tailing sink to that fastball from Baldenebro.
Good guy, that Justin Morneau. Got to meet him a few times during my time with the Twins. He's now working at Valley Sports in North as their one of the commentators for TV.
Baldenebro set with a long pause. 1-2 on the way. Brunson cuts and misses. Down on strikes. Second strikeout of the inning for Baldenebro. Still a runner at first, but there will be 2 outs here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Baldenebro's not even phased by that single by Rutledge. Goes right back at it and puts Brunson down on strikes.
So we'll see what Chris O'Neill can do here. He's in the cleanup role today. And playing over at third base. O'Neill on the year. Just 3 hits. Hitting under 200. Good pop in his bat, though. He's got a good presence at the plate. Certainly looks like he knows what he's doing. Has a good approach. Just hasn't found a hot streak yet. 1 extra base hit. That would be a double. He has scored 4 runs for the A's. There's a pitch that is in their first strike, and that has been one of the issues for the A's, really, to get rolling offensively. It's been kind of their Achilles heel so far in this Cal Winter League. No balls in, a strike. Baldenebro, a fastball, good firm velocity there on the outer corner for strike 2. 0-2 is the count, 2 down here. Baldenebro searching to strike out the side with O'Neill down in the hole.
O'Neill's got the average of 188. He's only struck out 3 times, so we'll see what Baldenebro does here.
Goes back to that sinker, and it's in the dirt for 1-2. You can really tell Baldenebro able to shift those pitches, the fastball going firm with the form seam, and then the sinking action on the 2-seam. Can really drastically tell a difference.
Baldenebro's got the 6.56 ERA and the 4 games started.
Runner will move, and the ball bounces out of the glove of Mendoza, so no chance to get Rutledge, who has the base stolen, and he's now in scoring position. And the A's, again, they have some early struggles normally with their offense, but they have a chance here with 2 away.
Yeah, Baldenebro, this is his 4th game he's played, 2nd time he started. He does have a win, but that average is, the ERA is what's really standing out for me, 6.56.
2-ball, 2-strike pitch on the way, bouncing over in the hole into left field, being waved around, and scoring will be Rutledge. Glove comes in and is cut off at third, so a big 2-out hit for the Canada A's. Here in the bottom of the first, they're on the scoreboard, 1-0.
It passed both the diving third and shortstop. Again, that hole has just been the place to hit the ball all month long.
Typically, we have not seen timely hitting come from this Canada A's squad, but here they get a big knock there with 2 down. And that's what you want out of your 4-hole hitter in Chris O'Neill.
Only the 2nd time that the A's have scored in the first inning and have led in a game.
This ball is hit in the air to right field, and it's dying out there as Killian Bloat moves over and makes the routine grab on the fly ball out. First pitch swing was Colton Kendrick. Flies out to end the inning there. Canada A's, though, they strike first. They get a run in the bottom half of the first on 2 hits. We'll go to the top half of the second here. Keep it right here for Cal Winter League Baseball. Back in Palm Springs as we move to the second inning. 1-0 our score in favor of the Canada A's. Here comes Jesse Russo to lead it off for the Lumberjacks. He's in the 5-hole and playing third base today.
Jesse Russo with a .333 average, 4 hits on 12 at-bats. All of them being singles. He has 3 RBIs, a run, walked 3 times, and struck out 3 times.
Taking ball 2 here, so he's ahead in the count against the big right-hander, Kevin Lennock, who gets the start for the Canada A's.
Brand new entrant to the Cal Winter League. If you didn't join us in the first half, he's got a lot of minor league experience playing in single, double, and triple A, and some indie ball as well.
Swing and a miss here, 2 balls and a strike to Russo. Touching on famous Negro Leagues players. Had to look up some of the stats of Satchel Paige as Russo swings and misses. Good sweeping slider from Lennock. That'll be 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out here. Top half of the second. Russo, the lefty, will battle as Lennock nods in approval of the sign. Comes set and deals. 2-2. Pitches outside. Count will be full. How about this for you? Satchel Paige was a rookie at the age of 41 in Major League Baseball. He was the oldest rookie ever. Lennock will bring a full count. Swing and a miss. Russo is down on strike. Second strikeout of the day for Lennock.
So when he came into Major League Baseball? Or
Correct.
Okay, gotcha. He started pretty late in the Negro Leagues.
Correct, although they've never actually confirmed the real age of Satchel Paige as a rookie, so cannot really confirm it. What is intriguing me, looking at some of his numbers.
Hold on, Mitch. We're going to have a pitch change here. Looks like that's going to be it for Lennock.
So that'll be the day for Lennock, who comes out and throws an inning and a third, strikes out 2, and keeps the Canada A's in front. 1-0. We'll take a quick break. So the pitching change was made, and Kevin Lennock's day is done. Again, an inning and a third. He did strike out 2. The Canada A's lead at 1-0 here, top of the second. 1 out. Tavis Dickey, the batter, after Jesse Russo struck out. First pitch swinging a foul ball. And a new pitcher on the mound for the A's is Hakuto Kanai.
Hakuto Kanai, I guess it's been an official trade. He came from the Palm Spring Chill as the A's are looking for some more pitchers. Comes in with a 2.86 ERA, 14 2/3 innings pitched. He has 1 save, no wins or losses. About 19 hits, 15 runs, only 6 of them earned. 6 walks, 9 strikeouts, and he's hit 3 batters.
Pitch on the way, swung at and missed by Dontavius Dickey. So Kenai switching spots from the Chill over to the A's. One thing that we haven't touched on really is the fact that once we get closer to the playoffs, as teams are eliminated, the teams that remain in the Cal Winter League around that time, they will get to take pitchers from the losing teams.
Ooh.
As this pitch is bounded foul.
That I did not know.
So that will be interesting. That'll be pretty fun to watch and see how the managers pick and choose the pitchers. And some really big moves could be made around that time. Obviously with some pivotal arms on every team. You want to make sure that you're grabbing the right starters and the right depth to your rotation. Here's a pitch fouled away.
That may have been the first time that PA announcer Josh Berger might have gotten a foul ball. It just barely nicked the netting up there. It's
So
right
close, yet so far away. And we had this discussion the other day. I've really never been on the lucky end of that. I've really never been on the lucky end of most things that involve luck. Here's a 1-2 from Kenai. Pitch is just going to barely miss on the inner corner.
I'd say you got this job. That's pretty lucky.
Yes, this came about in a funny way. I started out here over the summertime, as Kenai will bring a 2-2. Swing and a miss. Dickey is down on strikes. Kenai's first strikeout of the afternoon.
Great way to come on in with your new team, and first guy you face, you put him down on strikes.
Just how you draw it up. I'll bring up Killian Bloke. And you came out here on on kind of a whim as well, Andres. You were out here in like a day's notice.
Yeah. If I have time in the inning, I'll share it. Otherwise, I'll go into the bottom of the second and share that story.
So 2 down here, top half of the second. Score is 1-0 in favor of the Canada A's. As Kenai will bring a 1-0 to Killian Bloat, the right fielder today. Grounded over to third. Chris O'Neill doesn't have to move. Picks it up on a couple of hops. The throw is a little bit wide, but applying the tag over there is the first baseman, Colton Kendrick, who has some good footwork around the bag. 3 up and 3 down there in the second frame for the Lumberjacks, and the Canada A's will come to bat in the home half, leading by 1 run. Go to the bottom of the second. The A's in control of this one. 1-0 is the score. Here comes Eddie Mccabe to lead it off. Valdenebro on the mound. He gets the start for the Lumberjacks. Ran into some trouble there in the first. 2 strikeouts, although Rutledge would single. Chris O'Neill would also single and drive in Rutledge. Here's first pitch swinging from Eddie Mccabe, a foul ball. Mccabe just recently signed a pro contract. And every day we have the signs up kind of by where our room is as far as our intern room is concerned. And I'll have the boards up there with players that are recently signed as this ball is grounded over to the shortstop, hit pretty hard. Adrian Sanchez takes care of Mccabe, though, on the ground ball out. 1 away here in the home half of the second.
Yeah, Mccabe, one of those recent signings, you can see, even though he grounded out, that was a hard hit ball. Hit off right on the sweet spot. Cracked in the bat. Not a cheap hit.
Good loud contact, although nothing to show for it. Now we'll bring up Walker Paz, the shortstop. Beautiful afternoon here. We've had some chillier days this week that scared away some of the crowds that come out to our games, although today we're right around that 70-degree mark, back for a beautiful day. No wind, really.
The fans agree, too.
Flag is waving just a tad, not a ton, and got a really good showing of fans today. Is probably the most fans that we've seen since last Saturday. We were talking, Andres, in between the break.
Most of these fans out here for Canada Day. See a lot of the Canadian Red, Toronto Blue Jays hats in effect out here as well.
I see a Montreal Expos hat. Talk about a throwback.
That is a nice hat.
So talk about one of the teams that could have done a lot more damage with that organization than they ended up doing. This ball is hit foul.
A lot of news out with the Expos, with Tom Brady being the last Expo drafted.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, he was the last Expo that was in a draft. He was in the same draft as David Ross.
Wow, okay. Learned something new today. They had the year where they had, who was it, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, Vlad Guerrero. They had all of those guys. I believe they were on the same squad. I'd have to fact check that one, but it's one of those organizations that didn't end up doing anything really.
Funny story about the Expos. My cousin, he grew up liking baseball, but then he fell off. You know, some guys just don't. It's not for them. We were having a conversation the other day, and he said, "How are the Expos doing?" And I was like, "Oh, buddy, where have you been?"
Yeah, a little late to the party. As Paz takes inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, I felt bad for him because he grew up loving baseball, and now he's a chemical engineer. And just never had time for sports, and just talking baseball in our family group chat, and poor guy got hit with a real tough story about the Expos.
Walker Paz stays alive in the box. Another foul ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 down here in the bottom of the second with the A's leading 1-0.
And originally I thought he was joking about it, and then he's like, "I need to take the day off," and he removed himself from the group chat, came back the next day. They're like, "Hey, how you doing?" He was like, "I just read everything I needed to know about them." I was like, "There you go."
Getting caught up to speed. Here's a 2-2. In the dirt. Paz will take a look at it. Count will be full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, we've talked a little bit about, Tampa Bay being a team that'll probably move at some point.
I don't know if they'll move out of the state for sure, but definitely staying in Florida.
Paz at the plate, 3-2 coming with 1 away. Lifts this one in the air to center field. Moving in on it is Chris Baker, and he makes the routine play for the second out.
Another swing with some good wood on it, but Paz has just been struggling. Only 2 hits, and now 19 at-bats. He's had 23 plate appearances.
A better swing from the left side, just hasn't been able to find a hot streak, and that'll bring up Masaya Fukuda. So back-to-back lefties in the lineup for the A's.
Fukuda's another guy who is struggling. He has yet to have a hit.
Taking strike 1, as we mentioned in the first inning, really all of these A's hitters have struggled. Not one of them really sticks out a ton. Colton Kendrick maybe sticking out the most, and Chris O'Neill, but otherwise Most of them struggling. Really just been a matter of them finding ways to string hits together, and they haven't been able to do that. As Fukuda hits in an 0-1, taps this ball. It's going to be a fair ball down first base line. The pitcher over there to field his position was Baldanabro. Fields it and underhands to Jim Balva at first, and they just barely get Fukuda, who was hustling down the line. So the A's go 3 up, 3 down, but they do still lead 1-0. As we will go to the third here in Palm Springs. We go to the third frame here. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Canada A's. It'll be the Lumberjacks to bat here, top half of the third. Andres Mendoza in the 8-hole. It'll be Mendoza, then Sanchez, then back to the top with Spencer Kean as Mendoza takes strike one from Hakuto Kanai, who came in to replace Kevin Lennock, who got the start. Guy with some good pro ball experience. Just a short, quick outing, trying to get some work in. As we are approaching what should be around the time pitchers and catchers report, usually around mid-February. Pitch is lifted in the air to center. Fukuda right there in dead away center field, and he makes the play. One down here, top half of the third.
And that's a bright spot in the A's system right here. Fukuda being the, if I could, I'd give him the Gold Glove in the Cal Winter League. He's made so many web gems, so many great plays out there. He is definitely the Defensive Player of the Year, Cal Winter League, at least for me.
Yeah, he's played a really good center field. The other guy that comes to my mind is A.J. Pollock for the Chili.
Yep.
He's a really polished center fielder. This pitch is taken outside.
During the half inning, we were talking about the hitting for the A's. 12 members of that team hitting under 200 of an average. Just about 6 of those 12 have yet to record a hit.
Yeah, fairly solid defense for the A's. And pitching that has been decent enough to keep them in ball games. It's really been the offensive struggles for them. As the batter, Adrian Sanchez, takes a strike here. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
On the fielding wise, the amount of errors committed on this team, 19. However, total percentage of fielding is about 91%.
Yeah, and errors are expected on this field. Typically, the ball will take pretty consistently bad hops on the infield, so we kind of come to expect that. We've highlighted it, numerous times as we've moved along, that all too many errors in the outfield from all these teams, but trying to clean it up. The last week, I would feel like these guys have cleaned it up. Looked a lot better defensively. Here comes another 2-2 with one away. Pitch is Swung at and fouled straight back. We'll do it again.
The guy with the most chances on the team for the A's is Colton Kendrick. He's got 92% fielding percentage.
So Sanchez still hits in a 2-2. We'll do it again. Tapped out in front on the check swing. The pitcher, Kanai, fields his position and throws over to first for the second out. So far, so good for Hokuto Kanai, who came in his relief effort there in the second. A strikeout, and now he's set down all 4 batters that he's seen.
Great start for Kanai. Again, he's coming from the Palm Springs Chill, who played earlier today, who lost that game to the Grizzlies, as the Grizzlies have their second walk-off.
This will be Spencer Kean. We're back to the top of the order. Kean is 0 for 1. He grounded out to third his first time around. Pitch in is called a strike. Looked like he changed up on him. 2 away here in the top half of the third. The Canada A's lead at 1-0.
Canada A's started with the walk-off frenzy back on Saturday on the 29th when they walked off the Grizzly. And since then, it's been exactly a week. We've had 4 walk-offs in this past week.
A lot of really good action this past week, and we hope to obviously continue it in the next week to come, as this pitch is hit in the air to left center field. Moving over there is Fukuda, who makes the running grab, covering a lot of ground. What a grab from the center fielder.
Give him the gold glove.
A great play there for the third out. So Kanai works through a 1-2-3 top half of the third, and the A's still out in front, 1-0. We'll go to the bottom of the third. Canada A's lead this one 1-0 as we go to the bottom half of the third. And the Canada A's coming to bat here will be Casey Combs. Canada A's went 1-2-3 back in the second after scoring 1 in the first. Alden Abro getting the start on the mound for the Lumberjacks, bringing the first pitch in here, a sinking line drive into left field off the bat of Casey Combs. So Combs not wasting any time as he goes after the first pitch and laces a single into left.
Just past the extended Adrian Sanchez at short, just barely missing it. That would have been a web gem place at the Sports Center.
Yeah, Sanchez just barely out of the reach of the webbing, and that'll bring up Jack Allen. Strikeout victim his first time around. Swinging and missing at the first pitch he sees.
Again, Alden Abro is not a guy who gets hit around a lot. He's only allowed a max of 4 hits in a game. And that ERA when he came in, 0.65.
Taking a long pause here with the runner on first, bringing the pitch. Fouled off on a fastball. Jack Allen again, 0 for 1. He struck out swinging in the first. Casey Combs doing a great job of setting the tone here. In the bottom of the third, the Canada A's trying to string together some hits, as we've exemplified so far in this game, Andres, that they have not really been able to do so in a lot of their games so far this year. Allen in the hole here, though, 0-2. They'll check on the runner. Nothing doing there. A pretty good arm behind the plate in Mendoza. We've seen actually a lot of these catchers behind the plate, really strong arms. There's a two-strike pitch is in there, called strike 3 at the knees. Allen is frozen for his second strikeout of the day.
Mendoza catching wise is yet to have it put out. He does have a strong arm. He's allowed 8 stolen bases on himself, though.
And we'll bring up Collier Rutledge. He singled back in the first and then scored the first run and only run of the game. 1-0 our score in favor of the Red Squad. Pitch is grounded hard back up the middle, a dive from the shortstop Sanchez, and he can't make the flip to second, but a heck of an effort there from the shortstop, ranging to his left. Full extension dive. He almost had the diving grab on Combs' single. This time he does glove it, but nothing doing there. So it's a single for Rutledge. He's now 2 for 2. And that'll bring up Tavis Brunson. So great effort there, but nothing to show for Sanchez. So Brunson, the big left-handed bat here in the 3-hole. He's 0 for 1, a strikeout swinging his first time around. One down here, runners at first and second, taking outside. You know, Andres have been talking a little bit about the history of the game with the Negro Leagues, talking about the Negro Leagues Museum in Kansas City. Obviously, Jackie Robinson, one of the most monumental figures not only in baseball but in sports in general. Here's a wild pitch, and that will allow both Combs and Rutledge to move up. So runners at second and third now. So wild pitch coming from Baldanabro, who has so far given a good start on the mound, filling up the zone with plenty of strikes, but he's wild here. So Brunson in a good spot to try and keep things rolling for the A's. Trying to keep all the momentum that they have so far. 4 base hits for them offensively, all of them being singles, and Brunson will try to change that. Pitch is lifted in the air deep to center field, moving back. Just a bit in front of the warning track is Chris Baker. He makes the play as he drifts onto the warning track, and walking home will be Casey Combs on a big sacrifice fly into center field. And the A's have 2 runs across. It's now 2-0 on a big hit there off the bat of Brunson, who has plenty of pop in his bat. Shows it off there, lifting that one high in the air to center field. He does his job to a T. Also moving up to third now is Rutledge, so the A's are still threatening here as Chris O'Neill comes to bat. O'Neill is 1 for 1. He singled with an RBI back in the first, as Baldanabro tries to work himself out of it. Throwing ball 1 here. Just 1 out here in the bottom of the third, with the A's leading 2-0. Obviously, we think about some of the pioneers of the history of sports, and Jackie Robinson obviously sticks out. Other guys like Muhammad Ali, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, African-American citizens and athletes that have paved the way for generations to come. Chris O'Neill in a 1-1 count fouls this one off to the right. And in some of those stories talking about the Negro Leagues and the history of the game, I was going to mention this earlier. back calling games in Kansas, out in western Kansas during the summer times. This was first year of doing that during my time while I was still in school. Would broadcast games out in the western part of Kansas at one of the oldest ball fields in the entire country. It was a wood grandstand, one of the oldest wood grandstands. We'll continue the story here as O'Neill is down on strikes, and that'll do it for the A's, who lead 2-0. They get another run after the sacrifice fly off the bat of Tavis Brunson, and it is now 2-0. We'll go to the fourth here in Palm Springs. We go to the fourth here with the Lumberjacks coming to bat. And this will be Chris Baker. He is 1 for 1 today, taking strike one from the sidewinder Hakuto Kanai, who came in to relieve Kevin Lennock. And goes into the line, brings an 0-1, pitches outside, ball one. 1-1 is the count. Baker again, 1 for 1, trying to start things here for the Lumberjacks. Just one hit coming from Baker, taking high and away, ball two. Continue the story as I was talking about calling games in the summertime and going all the way out into western Kansas, the little town called Rossville in Kansas, as Baker fouls one off. All the way out in Rossville, there is an old stadium called Joe Campbell Memorial Stadium, and I'm going out there just trying to do my job, not really aware of where I'm at, kind of a thing, out in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. But Joe Campbell Memorial Stadium, once I started looking it up, the Monarchs actually played there, and I remember just kind of getting these chills come over me, thinking, holy cow, this is something else. It was also one of the first stadiums in the entire country to use lights, as Baker takes a walk. So the lead man for the Lumberjacks aboard here in the top of the fourth. But again, I just remember thinking, wow, this is something special to think that some of the greatest players of all time and some of the guys that paved the way in the Negro Leagues played on this little dinky old field in the middle of nowhere, Kansas. Was really cool. And then I was brought to the attention that they actually did a small documentary on the field. I don't remember what it's called. I believe if you probably just search Joe Campbell Memorial Stadium, you can probably find it somewhere. They actually dressed up and they did a mock documentary or a mock baseball game of the history of the game, and trying to give the facts about it being one of the oldest grandstands in the entire country and using lights and things of that nature. Pretty cool story, pretty cool to be a part of that, as Kuzemka digs in, lifts this ball into right field, starting in on it, and now moving back is going to be Killian Bloat. And he makes the play.
Great play out there.
So that'll be the first out here after Baker led off with the walk. So one down here, and now it'll be Nick Jimbalvo. Jimbalvo is 0 for 1. Grounded out to second his first time around. And runner moving pitch is in there for a strike, and unable to glove it is Walker Paz as it skids into center field, and moving up on the throw to third is Baker. So a stolen base, and then he moves up on the throw. He's now at third base with one away. Batter Nick Jimbalvo, who is in the 4-hole today. See if he can't drive in a run as the Lumberjacks trail 2-0 is our score. Jimbalvo on the year, 4 hits in 16 at-bats. Takes outside for a ball. And also just kind of rethinking my memories back to being at that old ballpark there. Thinking about the fact that it was one of the first places where they played with lights.
Yeah.
This pitch is hit in the air. Shallow left field, giving chase is Paz, the shortstop. He calls him off. And now he drops the ball. And Jimbalvo was headed back to the dugout, but he hangs out at first base as Baker comes around to score. So that'll be an error on Paz. And Jimbalvo is at first after the error, and a run across for the Lumberjacks. A defensive miscue for the A's to give up the first run of the ball game.
Yeah, Walker Paz, that's a tough one to get. You really can't say much other than that. I mean, he had both hands on the glove. It's just an unfortunate play for him.
With how high the ball was hit, you would have probably thought that Rutledge, the left fielder, would have been able to make the play, but he was unable to get there in time. So it's an error on Paz, as the batter will be Jesse Russo. So Russo will hit here with one out and a runner at first. And again, the Canada A is trying to regain some momentum as they have just 2 wins on the year, but they're not helping themselves out right here with the defensive miscues. Russo will hit in a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Runner moving, pitches lined into left field, sinking and falling in front of Rutledge, who picks it up. Being waved around now is going to be Jimbalvo. Throw to the plate is in time. Oh, the relay. Jimbalvo is out at the plate for the second out. A heck of a relay there. Rutledge in, and they cut down the run at home.
That's Rutledge, Walker, Paz to Combs. What a play there. What a relay to save the game from being tied, and that's the second out of the inning.
They run the relay to a T, just how you draw it up and just how you run it in practice. The throw into O'Neill, and they make the relay throw to home, and Casey Combs slapping the tag down on Jimbalvo.
That was as bang-bang as it gets.
So the defensive miscue by Paz is now picked up with a good defensive play there from the left fielder on a good relay home. Score is 2-1, preventing that tying run from scoring.
What a putout.
So there are 2 down here. And the batter, Tavis Dickey, he is 0 for 1. He struck out swinging his first time around. Swinging at this pitch and lifting it foul. Just to think about, though, Andres, going back to the lights, just to think about how weird it is, obviously, in today's game, so many games played at nighttime. Just to think back in the day that they would cut games short due to light issues, not being enough light. It's just crazy to think the evolution of how things have gone as this pitch is missing outside. Mccabe, the second baseman, keeping it on the infield as best as he can, putting a glove on it. It'll be a stolen base. Looks like there was a courtesy runner for Russo. That's Kadrian Russ, the speedster. So Russ has a stolen base. We'll see if he stays in the ball game. He's in scoring position now for Dickey. who takes ball one. Correction there, 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. And a runner in scoring position. The Jacks searching to tie this ball game up. Russ dances off a second. Swung on and miss. A clutch pitch there from Hokuto Kanai to get Dickey swinging for his second strikeout of the day. That'll do it for the Lumberjacks. In the 4th, they do get a run. But the A's, with some good team defense, cut the run at home to keep them right where they're at. And they still lead by 1 run. Score is 2-1 as we go to the bottom half of the 4th. Back in Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. Colton Kendrick will be the batter for the Canada A's here in the bottom of the 4th. They lead it 2-1. Kendrick is 0 for 1. He flied out to right his first time around. It'll be Mccabe and Paz to follow. New pitcher on the mound for the Lumberjacks. It's Michael Bono, who blows a fastball right by Kendrick. Michael Bono, one of the better pitchers for the Lumberjacks so far this year. Typically a starter. He comes in relief here. Bono on the year. A 1-1 record as he throws strike 2 here. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Kendrick, the big left-handed hitter. 8 earned runs allowed. 13 strikeouts for Bono, who probably has the most velocity for the Lumberjacks. A good exploding fastball. He'll run it upper 80s, low 90s. Swing and a miss. He makes Kendrick look silly here on the fastball. Well late on that swing for the first out.
Yeah, first out, first appearance in the game. Always great to start it with a strikeout.
The second baseman, number 15.
Good fastball there with a lot of life to it. Good zip on it. And that'll bring up Eddie Mccabe, who's 0 for 1. Pretty good start from Roberto Valdenebro, working through 3 innings of work. 4 strikeouts for him. Allowed 4 hits and the 2 runs. Eddie Mccabe, the batter. 1-0 is the count with 1 away. Bono set, the righty pumps in a fastball, hit out, going towards the second base area, but Bono cuts it off and underhands it to first for the Second out, quickly 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom half of the fourth.
Couldn't ask for a better start from Bono here as he comes in relief.
Really good start to this inning from him. He's got great stuff, great fastball. We've already touched on that. Bring a breaking ball and a changeup to complement the fastball. So Walker Paz will be the batter. He is also 0 for 1, a fly out to center field, taking a fastball, just barely missing. Ball 1. First game of the day moved by pretty quickly in what turned out to be a thriller, a walk-off win for the Grizzly in that one.
Coming back 4 runs in the 9th after being down 3-0.
Pitch into Paz, missing. One of the better efforts late in the game from the Grizzly there in that game 1. What a start from Jesse Galindo. He gave a great effort for the Chill.
Unfortunately, he wouldn't be able to finish off the game. It would have been our first complete game shutout had he gotten the 3 outs before recording any runs, as the foul ball knocks off the mask of Mendoza.
There's a bell ringer for you. The umpire, in typical fashion, giving a courtesy, walking the new baseball out to Bono, giving some time behind the dish for Mendoza to regain his awareness. Michael Bono also taking his time. Those balls right off the mask, those will really ring your bell.
So the old school mask, too.
Yeah. So Paz will hit in a 2-1 count. 2 outs after Kendrick struck out swinging, then Mccabe bounced one back to Bono for the second out. 2-1 pitch on the way is in there for a strike. Paz with the error in the last half frame. But some good team defense from the A's. Cutting down the run at home. That would have been the tying run. Jim Balvo trying to score on a ball hit into left field. Paz shoots this one right back where it came from. Back up the middle into center field. He'll round first hard as he takes a glance and he'll retreat back to first. It's a hard hit single for Paz, who will continue the inning here.
As you said, send it right back where it came from. That's how you know you got good wood on it, being able to send it right back up the middle.
Good exit velo on that one. Smoked that ball. Bono will provide some power, and you can square it up on him. The ball is definitely going to jump off the bat. As Fukuda will stand in, the defensive wizard in center field takes ball 1. Low in the dirt. Bono has to work here with 2 away and a runner on first. Slight wind as the flag drifts a little bit to the left. A crosswind. Fukuda will await a 1-0. Here's Bono as he steps off the mound. Paz with good speed over at first. Definitely a good candidate to run for the A's. Paz on the year. Trying to find stolen bases in the stat sheet here. Good speed at first with Fukuda at the plate. Lefty-righty here. Bono, the new pitcher here in the 4th, replacing Baldenabro, the starter. Works from the stretch. Here's a 1-0. Runner moving. This pitch is fouled away.
Good idea from Paz.
Yeah, trying to start something on the infield. He takes a slow jog back to first to regain his breath. That's the worst, when they keep fouling it away. You have to keep retrieving back to first base.
Another plus for Paz. That's his 3rd hit on the year with that single up the middle, so he's got to be real happy about it.
He's going to try again. This time he won't have to retreat as the pitch is taken for a ball inside and Paz has a stolen base. So he scoots on up into scoring position. for Fukuda, who is 0 for 1. Bounced one back to the pitcher. Back in the second frame of work. 2-1 is our score. The A's lead.
Fukuda, as good as he is in the outfield, he needs to get some hits here. Again, no hits, 5 strikeouts. He's walked 4 times, has an RBI, and was hit by a pitch once.
Swing and a miss here. It'll be a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Bono scrapes the surface on the hill, trying to gain some footing as he leans in. Gets his sign, and he's ready to go. Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. Down on strikes goes Fukuda. 2 strikeouts for Michael Bono, and he leaves Paz stranded at second. The Canada A's still lead 2-1 as we go to the 5th here in Palm Springs, and the Lumberjacks trying to get on the board and tie this ball game up. Away we go here to the 5th. It'll be Killian Bloat to lead it off. 7-8-9 due up here for the Lumberjacks, who trail by a run. Scores 2-1. And it has been brought to Andres' attention that we do have the largest misting system on the west side of the Mississippi here at historic Palm Springs Stadium.
Yeah, when I came in, I thought it was like lights, like, garden lights you put on your backyard when you're hosting people. Because we were talking about lights being a new thing in baseball recently, in baseball history, how a lot of teams didn't have lights. Look out. Another one just barely missing the netting. Josh is tingling in anticipation to get a foul ball.
Trying so hard.
He was so close.
We go to break, and Andres is like, what is going on with all these black wires above the stands out here? And I was shocked that we haven't even really had a time to bring that up. But yes, it is a misting system. Obviously, it gets extremely hot here in Palm Springs during the summertime.
Makes sense. I get it.
So the fans really need that misting system during those times. Yeah, no, it'll run throughout the entire course of the ball game. Here's a swing and a miss from Killian Bloat, who is down on strikes. A wild swing there for the first out.
That was a weird delayed swing by Bloat, as it was a good pitch high and in from Kenai. Goes down on strikes.
Salivating at the fastball and doing nothing with it. This ball, first pitch swinging off the bat of Andres Mendoza, is lifted in the air down the left field line. And here go the A's with all of their defensive substitutions.
Looks like Usher made the play there.
I believe that was Aaron Ushery, so he makes the play. for the second out. So quickly 2 up, 2 down.
Now batting the shortstop, number 2, Adrian Sanchez.
Yeah, the misting system will run throughout the entire course of the game. Here's a pitch for a strike to the batter, Adrian Sanchez. Trying to find some of the other misting systems. Not exactly sure where to find a list like that. Search it on the internet and all you get are, here's a misting system for your home. Gotta think that the misting system too, that's gotta be, this stadium built in 1949. I don't want to take a crazy guess at it, but I mean, the misting system has to be at least 30 years old, at the very least. But it still runs like a champ, as the batter is Sanchez. Takes just a bit outside. Still Hakuto Kanai on the mound for the A's, who lead it by a run. 2-1 is our score. Kanai deals, pitches inside. Sanchez is 0 for 1. He grounded out to the pitcher his first time around. Waiting on deck, should it get to that point, is Spencer Kean. Hit off the end of the bat into left field. Charging in to make the play is the left fielder. I believe that probably still is Kimbrough, but not totally sure as the A's make a ton of defensive subs. Nonetheless, 3 up, 3 down there in the top half of the 5th. And the A's still lead at 2-1 as we go to the bottom half of the 5th here in Palm Springs. We go to the bottom of the 5th here with the Canada A's still out in front. Just 1 run separating them from the Lumberjacks, though. Scores 2-1. 5 hits so far for the Canada A's offensively as Michael Bono deals inside ball 1 to the new hitter Colton Traeger. Canada A's making their routine 5th inning moves. So basically a whole different lineup as Traeger hits in the 9-hole, replacing Casey Combs. Combs exited 1 for 1, and he scored one of those 2 runs that the A's have on the board. So far, so good for Michael Bono, who came in the 4th. 2 strikeouts. He's only allowed 1 base hit. And no runs as he tries to keep the A's with a short lead, only up by 1 run.
And you know the A's would love to get a win. That'd be their third win thus far. So give you a look at the standings in the California Winter League. Leading off in the first place spot all alone are the British Columbia Bombers, 7-3.
Pitch on the way is fouled off.
Right behind them is the Palm Spring Power, 6-3-1. They tied with the Grizzlies a couple days back. Right in the third spot, in third place, is the Grizzly, 5-4-1 with that walk-off win earlier today. Jacks fall 5-5 in the fourth place. The Chill, Palm Spring Chill, one of the dominating teams early on, has fallen all the way to fifth place. They're 4-6. I think a 3-game losing streak for the Chill. They were leading 4-3. Oh my goodness! Take a breath there. Looks like he'll be okay. He got hit right in the side of the head. Helmet came off, and he looks to be okay.
So Traeger getting hit by the pitch, everything flying off. He'll make his way to first.
Yeah, it looks like Bono and Traeger are on the same page.
Yeah, obviously this is not a league where these guys are trying to cause any harm or damage to one another because everybody's just trying to get their reps in. So no intention there.
Unless there's something we don't know about.
Looking back here, though, Andres, the last win for the A's coming against the Grizzly
when they walked it
in
off.
that walk-off win, that was all the way back Saturday, January the 29th.
Yep, a week ago.
Pitch is skied foul. Somebody bring their glove to the ballpark. It's going to land in the marketing pit down there. Bounce up. Oh, there's a play. How about it? Some approval from the fans.
Large fan. I think this is our largest crowd as fans have come in throughout the day, staying from game 1 and now game 2. Definitely the largest fan base we've had at Cal Winter League. And if you haven't come out here yet, come on down. A lot of promotions. Tomorrow is $2 drafts. Saturday.
Yeah, one of the more popular promotions that we do. Speaking of foul balls and people making plays, somebody who knows a thing or two about catching a ball at the stadium using the glove is Aaron Hahn, our very own intern here. Does a lot of the work around the field for our games, helping prep the field along with MJ down there. Here's a swing and a miss as Kimbrough goes down on strikes for the first out. Aaron, he came out of nowhere. Again, he's one of our interns. Comes out of nowhere, and this is when we're just kind of trying to get to know one another. He was at a game at Safeco, which is now T-Mobile.
T-Mobile.
Watching a Mariners game, I believe that's where it was. And Aaron made a heck of a grab on a home run ball.
Oh, wow.
So it's hard enough, obviously, to get a foul ball. Aaron was like reaching over the railing, makes a web gem play. You'll have to ask him about it.
When was that? I want to see. I'm sure it was on TV.
It was, yeah, it was. He like screen recorded the TV broadcast of it.
I gotta ask him which game so I can find him.
Yeah, he has it saved on his phone. He'll have to show you a heck of a play.
Absolutely.
So this will be Purnell Chaplin. He replaces Collier Rutledge, who was 2 for 2. Chaplin smokes this ball to short. Picked up there, on to second for 1, on to first for the double play. Sanchez to Kian to Jim Balvo. Twist it up, give me 2 of them. And that is the double play to end it up. So the Canada A's go down on the double play. Another good inning from Michael Bono on the mound. The A's still lead it 2-1 as the Lumberjacks try to make a scratch in the ever-elusive 1-run deficit. Ready, here we go to the top half of the sixth.
Spencer Kian.
2-1 is our score in favor of the A's. We're looking to rebound. Again, me and Andres mentioning they haven't won since back on January 29th, and it's a little bit scary enough to think that we're already here in February 4th. Pitch is in for a strike, now fouled away off the bat of Spencer Kian. We've kind of talked about it before. I mean, it just doesn't seem like February, obviously, when you're playing in 70-degree weather. Feels like springtime out here. This Kanai will bring an 0-2 pitch. Swung on and hit foul. We'll do it again. Looks like Greg Vaughn Jr. is on deck, so he will likely replace Chris Baker. Again, the Lumberjacks just held to 2 hits in this game. One coming from Russo in the 4th, and Chris Baker all the way in the 1st. Here's a swing and a miss. And down goes Kian. So Kanai giving a good effort on the mound for the A's.
That's his 4th strikeout. He now hits the 4 innings pitched mark, and coming in the 2nd inning after Lennock recorded his first out of the 2nd inning. Since then, Kanai has pitched about 73% of his pitches for strikes. Only allowed 1 hit, the 1 run that's unearned, 4 strikeouts and a walk.
Greg Vaughn Jr., the right-handed hitter, digs in. Good power in the right-hander's bat. Hitting in a 1-0. Pitch is in there for a strike. We have the unusual 4-man umpire crew today, Andres.
Yeah, that started earlier today. I'm a fan. We'd have 6 down the lines as well. Just have them out there like they do in the playoffs in baseball.
The more eyes, the better as Vaughn swings and misses. Yeah, typically out here we just get the 2-man crew with the home plate guy and the 1 field umpire, but we have 3 field umpires today. And Vaughn in a 1-2 with 1 away. Pitch on the way is spoiled foul. Kuzemka to follow Vaughn. Again, just 2 hits on the day for the Lumberjacks. As a squad, they have struck out 6 times. A lot of weak contact as Vaughn swings and misses. Kanai with back-to-back strikeouts here in the 6th.
That's his 5th strikeout. He is absolutely just putting these guys away. His percentage goes up to 74% on the strikeouts. At 62 pitches he's thrown.
5th strikeout for Kanai. He's only allowed 1 hit. The other hit coming from Kevin Lennock, who got the start. And here's strike 1 to Kuzemka, who is 0 for 2, and he has 1 of those strikeouts.
Kuzemka, another signing for the Gateway Grizzlies out in the Frontier League.
This ball is swatted into right field. It's going to sink in front of Pizzana for a base hit.
Another good piece of hitting going with the ball where it's played, hitting it the opposite way, nothing too fancy. Got yourself a base hit with 2 outs. Keep the line moving.
And Kuzemka has that closed-off stance that kind of allows him to put his body in position to hit the ball the other way. So he does just that, and he'll keep the inning alive as Jim Balvo goes after the first pitch. It's grounded to the right side. It's going to squirt on through into right field. Pizzana picks it up. Back-to-back singles from Kuzemka and Jim Balvo on consecutive pitches. And the Lumberjacks have something rolling here with 2 away.
So that 1-hit game becomes a 2-hit game for Kanai so quickly in the blink of an eye. But the first pitch strikes also are getting wrapped up. He has pitched first strikes to 14 of the 16 batters he's faced.
Well, in the Canada A's, one of those teams that uses more different arms than any other team here. Long list of guys that have come in to pitch for them. I do have somebody down in the bullpen area getting loose, at least stretching out, as Jesse Russo swings through the first pitch. Coming up empty there.
Pitching is scarce on this A's team, who already are suffering a few injuries in their lineup.
Pitch is shot back up the middle and misplaying it as the center fielder out there, Tavis Ford. This might play too as the throw comes in to the shortstop. Scoring all the way from first on the air is Jim Balvo. Russo hits the ball hard, and Ford, I'm not sure if he lost it in the sun or what happened.
He had to
misjudged it. He came in just a tad and then tried to jump up at the last second, and he makes the error. It's a costly one, and now the Lumberjacks are leading in this game 3-2.
That is a costly error and a huge comeback for the Jacks late in the inning. The A's were looking for their third win, and I think he had to lose it in the sun. I see him right now shading his face with his glove. He came in rushing and then jumped and extending his body to try to make the play out there.
So it's a costly mistake, and now Pizzana in right field almost makes another mistake. His ball was hit high in the air to shallow right field. Pizzana squeezes it, though. It's a really costly error by the center fielder, Tavis Ford, and the Lumberjacks are now in the lead, 3-2. As we go to the bottom of the sixth, things getting interesting here in our doubleheader, the second game of today between the Canada A's and the Lumberjacks. Mitch Glesser with Andres Tejeda back here in Palm Springs. As we go to the bottom half of the sixth, things getting interesting here as this ball is hit on the ground. Jesse Russo over at third makes a long throw to get Travis McFarland first pitch swinging.
Yeah, that one was hit so hard that Russo's hat came off on the throw.
Yeah, we saw in game one DC Russ, his hat kept falling off. He was on the mound in that game. So one quick out here in the bottom of the sixth. The Canada A's trailing by a run after a costly error there in the top half of the sixth. With 2 outs, Jesse Russo hit a fly ball into center field. Tavis Ford misjudged it, came in too far, then tried to make up for it by jumping up at the last second and was unable to make the play. 2 runs scored for the Lumberjacks to give them the lead. Pitches hit in the air to right field. Killian Bloat shading the sun as he moves towards the foul line, and he makes a running grab. Pretty good play by the right fielder over there for the second out.
And that sun is playing a factor. Bloat had to snatch it out of the air just about 1.5 feet away from his head. He wasn't right underneath the ball, but way to play the sun.
That error, talk about a momentum shifter. Michael Bono on the mound for the Lumberjacks. He's one of their better pitchers. And if the Lumberjacks can get some timely pitching from him here, they might hold on.
There's only 3 pitches in the inning, and he's already got 2 outs.
Working quickly as he pours in a strike down Main Street. 0-1 the count here to Pizzana.
And to think that the Lumberjacks were 1 out away from being set down in the inning before that error in center field by the A's.
Yeah, that is the killer of it.
It's a very different ball game.
Yeah, shifted the whole game the other direction. Score again is 3-2 in favor of the Lumberjacks, with Pizzana at the plate in an 0-2 count. Here's Bono's pitch. Freezes him on the outer corner. Strike 3 looking. Pizzana just watching that one go by. Can't take the bat off his shoulders. It's a quick inning for Michael Bono on the mound as the Canada A's go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 6th. They trail it by 1 run as we go to the top of the 7th. We move here to the 7th. It'll be Killian Bloat, then Mendoza and Sanchez here for the Lumberjacks. They lead it by 1 run. 3-2 is our score. First pitch plunks Bloat in the back, probably around the shoulder blade area. So he will be aboard. The new pitcher on the mound for the A's, the Wild Thing. Now check that, it's Kyle Armsworthy.
Yeah, I would be very pressed to think that was any sort of retaliation for the hits batsman in the last inning.
Yeah, again, these guys obviously they have no incentive to really go after one another, especially when you're playing each other every day.
Yeah, especially because again, these guys are here to impress coaches. What you're not gonna do is you're not gonna get a coach who's gonna say, yeah, that's teamsmanship or that's good teamwork. It's petty, is what it is. Especially in a league like this, you see them for 3 weeks, 4 weeks max, then that's it. If you see him in the big leagues, you see him in the big leagues. Defend your guy there, but yeah.
So Armsworthy deals with a runner aboard after plunking Bloat in the back. Batter is Andres Mendoza. He's 0 for 2, a pair of flyouts.
We're going to try to put the Jacks ahead with a couple more runs.
Runner moves, throw down on a hop, is kept in front It'll be a stolen base for Bloat after being hit by the pitch.
That was not the best jump Bloat had. Donahue just got beat. Apologies, no longer Donahue behind the plate. It's Traeger. He just couldn't get there in time. It wasn't a close play.
So a 1-2 coming, almost offering, but holding up there. Taking for a ball.
Andres Mendoza been the catcher behind the plate for the Jacks for almost every game.
This ball is hit in the left field, sinking line drive, and getting by the left fielder now. It's Kimbrough, now giving chase all the way out by the wall is Ford. And in there, standing at second, will be Mendoza. So a couple of miscues by the outfield in the A's. And that time it comes from the left fielder, Kimbrough. So it'll be a single. And then moving up on the error for Mendoza.
And Bloat will score on that error as well.
So we try to get our books correct here.
The Lumberjacks now taking the 4-2 lead thanks to Andres Mendoza and the miscue by the yard Kimbrough.
The Canada is quite literally dropping the ball here late in the game as Armsworthy pours in a strike to Adrian Sanchez. So miscues here late in the game. The score is now 4-2, and there's still nobody out. Sanchez trying to get it back to the top of the order as he swings over the top of this pitch. No balls in, 2 strikes. The A's just not helping themselves out. Costly error by Ford back in the 6th, and now one from Kimbrough in left. Armsworthy brings an 0-2, tapped over to the second baseman Carta, charging in on it and handling it, throwing out Adrian Sanchez for the first out. That'll move the runner over to third, though, so Mendoza is just 90 feet away from scoring, and we'll go back to the top of the order with Spencer Kean. So Kean coming to bat. He's 0 for 3, struck out swinging his last time around.
Number 3, Spencer Kean.
Armsworthy starting out this inning in relief as the infield will now be drawn in. Hard hit ball past Chaplin at third, down the line and left. Making the play over there is Kimbrough. He makes a strong throw into second. That'll hold Spencer Kean with just a single. But another run scored here. That is 2 now here in the top of the 7th. And the Lumberjacks opening up their lead. They now lead it 5-2 ahead of the A's by 3.
So with the official scoring on Mendoza, it's going to be a double. So the run does count against Armsworthy. And so will this pitch that was hit down the line on the single.
Really, the tone of this half inning was set on the first pitch when Armsworthy just plunked Bloat right in the back. And now it is the batter, Kane Ruiz, I believe. Yes, so Ruiz hitting in place of Vaughn.
Armsworthy, his ERA is at a 7, even 7. He's allowed 17 hits, 14 runs, 11 of those earned. 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, and 3 batters that have been hit by a pitch in 11 innings of work.
The Lumberjacks were so quiet throughout this game. They only tallied 2 hits leading up to the 6th inning. And here in the past 2 frames, 4 hits, is now sliding about 10 feet. Oh boy, he did his best slip and slide there. Kean goes on the slip and slide, and he forgot that there was no water running.
The mist machine isn't on.
We needed the mist machine on. You're quite correct, Andres.
So he's safe 2 times.
Even Kean's having a laugh about it.
I think if Traeger had gotten a better handle on it, he's out. But Traeger missed the ball from the transfer from his glove and kind of gave up on it.
Pitch runs in on Ruiz.
Look out, that one's almost clipped him.
Makes it so much better when we have fans in the stands, too, to add to it.
Absolutely. I enjoy a good fan base here. And a lot of the fans here from Canada rooting for the A's.
It's shot into right field. It's going to be down on a bounce. And playing in was Pizzana. He now has to chase it. Chasing for second is Ruiz, who slides in there with a double. Another run across. He drives in Kean. And the Lumberjacks have everything rolling here in the past 2 frames.
Lumberjacks now taking a 6-2 lead, thanks to Mendoza and Kane Ruiz. And just recently coming around to score Spencer Kean.
And just to think, Andres, the A's,
they were leading.
They were leading in this game, and a costly error back in the 6th, a costly error here in the 7th, and they're now finding themselves trailing in this game. The score is 6-2 as Kuzemka comes to bat. He's 1 for 3. A single to right his last time around. Hits his ball sharply on the ground to shortstop. Ushry up with it. Throws it over to first for the out. So 2 down. That ground ball to the shortstop will move Ruiz up to third base. And there are 2 away here in the 7th.
Kanai was in line for the win. He had about 4 1/3 inning pitched before, and his line back then was only 1 hit on 5 strikeouts and a walk. Since then, it has gone up to 3 hits with those 3 runs, all of them unearned. But it's a tough line to walk in baseball right now.
And obviously, you don't want to pinpoint something on just one player because obviously baseball is a team game.
Absolutely.
But a couple of costly errors as this ball is kept in front by Traeger.
I think that's been the story all day today. We saw it with the chill. We had a guy who was pitching a great game, and in that last inning, and we're seeing here in the last inning of play, it's just falling apart for the opposing team.
Well, these players in both games being singled out, unfortunately, on the lesser side of things, as Jimbalvo takes this pitch. He's in a hitter's count, 3-0. Jimbalvo with a single and a run scored back in the 6th. He's also reached on an error. Swing and a miss, way out in front on that 3-0 pitch for strike 1. We've seen a lot of these guys have the green light on 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
Me, personally, I'm not huge proponent of that, but there's a 3-1 and taken outside for ball 4. So Jimbalvo will take a stroll down to first. Runners now at the corners with 2 away here in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, I'm usually in that ballpark. However, I think in this setting, these guys are trying to show that they can hit for power, hit for contact, or whatever that is that they're looking for, or whatever they're trying to work on. So I think that's why they're at least getting the green light. But my thing is, if you're going to swing 3-0, you got to hit it. You can't miss on a pitch like that.
It's made me wonder, actually, Andres, as we've kind of seen it here, all California Winter League, these guys coming out on 3-0. It almost makes me wonder, in the NBA, the three-pointer changed the game so much. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say that it's going to be a revolutionary type of shift, obviously, in the game, but it almost makes you wonder, with how much stats and analytics are in the game now, there probably is something backing up, stats behind maybe coming out on 3-0. That should be pretty interesting, honestly, moving forward as far as professional baseball is concerned. I wouldn't be surprised if that could be one of those shifts in the game as Russo takes. Although in today's game, when you have starters that throw 4 5-pitch mixes, a lot of those guys will mix in even a breaking ball on 3-0, depending on the hitter they're facing. But just something I randomly thought of, it could be interesting to watch, as obviously the game is ever evolving. Players obviously always looking for something to give them the edge. Could be something to keep monitoring as we move along. This is Jesse Russo at the plate. The left-handed hitter hits with runners at the corners and 2 away. Swinging, hits this ball hard on a sinking line drive. It's going to fall in front of Pizzana. Another run is going to score here. That is Ruiz scoring from third. 4 runs across now in the top of the 7th, and the Lumberjacks are pouring it on the Canada A's.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they're not rolling it over. They're going to bring Eddie Mccabe in to pitch for Kyle Armsworthy, who is just... It's been a tough go for him. He's allowed 4 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. and a 1 walk. So that'll be it for Kyle Armsworthy. His 2/3 pitch innings.
A tough day here and a tough last couple of frames for the A's defensively and on the mound as the Lumberjacks extend their lead by 5 runs. They now lead at 7-2 as Eddie Mccabe comes into pitch, and we'll take a quick break. Back here in Palm Springs, Mitch Glessner alongside Andres Tejeda. A new pitcher on the mound is Eddie Mccabe. Throwing ball 1 just a little bit low to Tavis Dickey. So Mccabe, the position player, will come in and just do his best job to just throw the ball right over the heart of the plate. The A's kind of running out of pitching as this game has really slipped away from them. Starting back in the 6th and now the 7th here, the Lumberjacks have scored 6 runs in the past 2 frames, adding to their 1 in the 4th to give them 7 runs. Swing and a miss from Dickey. Mccabe, pretty hilarious on the mound when he has to come in. He just kind of stands there and just slings in probably a 40 or 50 mile per hour pitch.
Here's the craziest part. He's pitched in 2 games. Now he gets strike 2. And he's pitched 3 innings. He's got 2 strikeouts in those 3 innings. ERA of 0.
Really just overpowering
His
stuff.
number
from
line
the
is
righty.
0 across the board. And I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if the A's can come back and win this game, he'll get a W.
There you go. Something to look forward to there. We have seen crazier things happen. 5 runs not out of the question, but can the A's keep it at 5 runs with the Lumberjacks pressing at 1st and 2nd? Swing and a miss. How about that? Dickey is down on strikes to end the frame. Mccabe comes in and strikes out Tavis Dickey. The Canada A's have a lot of ground to make up, though, as we go to the bottom half of the 7th. They trail it by 5 runs. Score is 7-2. We'll see what happens here in the last frame. Oh, we got a good one on our hands here, Andres, as we go to the bottom half of the 7th. Tapping it out in front is Antonio Carter. Will he beat it out? A wild throw from the shortstop, Sanchez. And that'll be an error on the shortstop on the throwing error. Carter is at first after what probably should have been a routine play.
It was going to be close. That was I think the highest and farthest bouncing ball on one bounce that we've seen. That's a hard ground ball.
The Canada A's, Andres, don't have a hit since back in the 4th. And they don't have a multi-hit inning since back in the 3rd. The bats have gone dead silent here in the last couple of frames. See if they can't pick it up here, though. They're down by 5. 7-2 is the score. Michael Bono still on the mound for the Lumberjacks. The hard-throwing righty brings in a strike to the hitter, Pernell Chaplin. Excuse me, this is Travis Ford.
It's not the prettiest way to get on, but it's a way to start things off for your guys. And Travis Ford has not hit in this game yet. This is his first appearance, batting .286. He's got 4 hits, 3 singles, and a triple. That triple coming in the walk-off win.
This could be 2. On the ground to 3rd, over to 2nd for 1. The throw back to 1st, not in time. Ford racing to 2nd on the errant throw. He'll be safe at 2nd. So we go 5-4 on the fielder's choice, plus an error on the throw. So Ford is at 2nd. But they're going to need a lot more. They're going to try to have to extend this inning any way they can. Ford in scoring position, though. A decent place to start. 1 away here, bottom of the 7th.
That's going to be the first error on the Lumberjacks. Or second error on the Lumberjacks.
Number 36.
So that'll bring up Connor Donahue. His first at-bat of the game. He replaced Fukuda. Bright orange bat as this pitch skips away from Mendoza. Moving up to 3rd will be Ford. Donahue and Ford, their runs do not matter. As they trail by 5, they're just trying to do anything they can to stay in this ball game and at least give themselves a chance. The A's have not scored since the 3rd frame. They also set the tone in the 1st with a run. That was facing off against Roberto Baldenebra, who got the start for the Lumberjacks. So the big righty in Donahue will try to continue the script as Bono deals, kicks and fires on the outer corner, barely missing there.
And Bono currently in line for the win if he can keep the A's at bay.
A lot of road ahead of them, though, as they try to make their way back uphill in this battle. Pitch on the way is swung on and hit foul. Canada A's have not won a game in a full week now. Trying to get back on the winning end of things. Count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes to the batter, Donahue. 1 out here, bottom of the 7th, with the A's trailing by 5. 7-2 our score. Bono set and ready to go. He'll bring a 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Donahue for the 2nd out here in the bottom of the 7th.
Yep, and Bono's 1 out away from finishing off the comeback and getting his win here.
Bono now with 5 strikeouts. It's Donahue, and it'll be up to Colton Traeger to try and extend this game a little bit further. The miscue in the 6th defensively for the A's would give the Lumberjacks the lead, and they piled on 4 more runs in the top half of this frame as Traeger takes inside for a ball.
And Bono, if he can get this final out, that'd be his 2nd win. He'd go 2-1. He started the last game on Saturday against the Chill. He's got an ERA of 9.33, so today would help him out immensely. He put up some more zeros.
There's a 1-0. He's well out in front as this ball is hit a mile foul the other way.
The ERA has been dropping immensely. He started off with a 0 ERA. He let up 8 earned runs in his 2nd appearance. His ERA jumped to 21 even. In Saturday's game, it went down to 9.33, and so you can get out of it today, it'd come down even further.
Traeger, one of the last hopes, if not the last hope, and a 1-1 takes a strike. And Bono will try to seal it up here for the Lumberjacks, who have come all the way back in this game, down by a run at one point and piling on for their 5-run lead. It's Ford at third and Traeger at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch, 2 outs in the dirt on a breaking ball, and Traeger will get another look at one as that goes in for ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
A's are down to their final strike.
Not a situation that they thought they'd be in, but here we are, 1 strike away for the Lumberjacks. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's a pitch from Bono. Swung on, hit in the air, should be playable for the center fielder. Now the shortstop, Sanchez, moving out there, and he barely makes the play in on the palm of the glove. So that will do it, and the Lumberjacks are going to sneak away with a win here after trailing basically the entire game. They are going to go on to win this one 7-2 will be our final. A pretty decent game from the A's, but too little, too late, as the bats went quiet. Since the 4th inning, they did not record a base hit. 2 hits in the game for Collier Rutledge, and a run scored. He was probably their best offensive player. Chris O'Neill with an RBI single back in the 1st. But again, just nothing doing since the 3rd frame. The Lumberjacks getting 2 crucial runs in the 6th after an error by Travis Ford in center. That would give them the lead after they were quiet innings 1 through 5, and then pouring it on in the 7th, batting around, and they would tally 4 hits there in the 7th and 4 runs to go on and give them a good lead there, and they would go on to win 7-2. Your thoughts, Andres?
Yeah, started off as a pitcher's duel. Aldonado gave up those 2 runs. Kevin Lennock coming in from the minor leagues, coming out here. Kuduk and I had a great game until that last fateful inning where the error occurred. He scored the 3 runs. None of them are going to go against him, fortunately. Kyle Armsworthy came in to try to clean up the game, but he let up 4 runs, all of them earned. Eddie Mccabe had to come in to stop the bleeding. But Michael Bono gets his 2nd win after pitching 4 innings, allowing 1 hit, no runs, 5 strikeouts. Very deserving of that win today.
We want to thank all of our fans that came out to this great showing here on this Friday afternoon. Tomorrow we will have more doubleheader action. In the morning at 10 a.m. it'll be the Grizzly taking on the Bombers. In the afternoon it'll be the 2 Palm Springs teams between the Power and the Chill. In our 2nd game of the doubleheader tomorrow, it'll be $2 draft beers all day tomorrow. So we hope to see you out at the ball field if you are here in Palm Springs. If not, follow along again on our cast, as we will do every day here on YouTube. For Mitch Glessner and Andres Tejeda, that'll do it today in Game 2 of our doubleheader. Again, the Lumberjacks win it 7-2 over the Canada A's. We hope you all have a great weekend, and we hope to see you all tomorrow.